I'm back. We are wrapping up with player two's last turn. So we're just gonna go kick back, just relax. What did I say? I was gonna show you guys something? Maybe I did. All right, we are between rounds. The player two is finishing up, so we do have a couple of tables which are still wrapping up their turns. But while the players are wrapping up to do that, because you know, teams on top of things, the moment the last submission is going to be in, they're going to be like, bam, round two. So we want to catch there before the start of round two. So let me just set up the image. Why am I not suppressed? All right. So you guys, hello? Is anyone in there? Chat, hello? You guys want to see something? I mean, if no one's there, I got nothing to showcase, you know, so like, it's tough. But if you guys are there, maybe we got something to show. What's in the box? Anything could be in the box. Why have a card when we can have a box? And that back box could have a card. Alright, you know what? Fine. I'll go ahead and showcase it, guys. So, without further ado, the next reveal from the provisional pack. I guess they don't want anything, right? But you know what? That's fine. That's fine. People will be excited once they see it. So, without further ado, the next reveal for the provisional pack is... Here you go. What? Wait, you guys don't see it? Oh, okay. We gotta ask nicely. You gotta tell her to, you know, tone down the ability. Just give her a sec. Just ask nicely, guys. Hey, there we go. So we have Toru Hagakure as our next provisional pack promo. 6-hander, 28 health. Response once per turn after an attack is played. It gets +2 or -2 speed and gains flash. Gross. And then our second response, you get to destroy a foundation after your unblocked attack deals damage. Your rival adds 1 ready foundation from their stage to their hand. So, you know, very explosive ability, meaning that you're going to be able to force your opponent out of tempo. And as far as the symbols go, we got some very solid symbols in terms of being able to take full advantage of those kind of abilities. Air, chaos, and water. Very, very solid. I can't, you know, the day that this character gets a full kit is gonna be so exciting because like what are you gonna do with the cards, right? So very awesome ability, very thematic character. I know people have been waiting for her for a while, so here she is, everybody. So I hope you guys are very excited. You know, jot her down, take your screenshots, do what you gotta do. I'm gonna leave her up for a minute, but very nice, another character to be able to jam with and try out a bunch of different things with, and this is gonna be a very interesting playstyle. Just the fact that you can basically flash out and attack every single turn has kind of like that. It's not a void card, right? But it has that void ability that basically says like, no more enhances. The attack's just gonna stop here. It's just going. You're just gonna go ahead and do your thing, right? So seeing that here is some nice flexibility in terms of what the deck can do and the way that it can force out your opponent to play differently. So we'll let that in. We'll let you guys bask in it for a moment. We'll let you guys enjoy the card while people are wrapping up. It does look like pretty much every table now has wrapped up. I know some tables, people are still sitting in them, but they're just either having a for fun game or just talking, having a good time. Excite, big excite. And of course, guys, if you guys want to get these provisional packs and you guys have to play in the provisional showdowns, to sign up for the first ones go live on Friday. So check out CM Professional Events if you guys want to go see that. Why has everyone got so much HP? Hey, man. You gotta squint. You gotta squint. If you squint a little bit, I promise you there's a card there. But it's a lot of high HP characters. 6-hander is nice. It's a good flex. So very awesome here. Also, I've been having a good time with these jams. Having a good time with these tunes. Let us see. These child characters out here with 20 plus HP, meanwhile pro heroes out here with 19 and 20. What does that say about adulthood? You know, not that I'm trying to, you know, propose anything, but that's what it's like to live your life with hope. You know, before you grow up and the world slowly starts taking it away piece by piece. Oh god. So yeah, so obviously the Gyro kit's super solid with that, right? There's a multitude of ways. You can play a little bit more control-y, play the Gyro kit and forcing things to have flash, which means that you can kind of control where and when your opponent's gonna be able to do what they want. You can play it more explosive and hit with, like, you know, if you're playing on water, you can hit with attacks that on base are just extremely strong, and then you bump up that speed a little bit, which can make it really obnoxious. So there's a good range of different things you can do here, which is awesome. So, hope you guys are excited about that character. Of course, that is only the 4th of 7 cards available in the provisional pack, guys. So you guys definitely want to keep your eyes open to our socials, to these Wednesday weeklies, as the closer we get to the provisional showdown, the closer we will be to be able to push out more of these promos and get you guys excited for what you guys can get as part of your prizing for these events. So definitely keep your eyes open for that. So, we did end up seeing Old Might, or True Form. So what are you guys looking to see next, right? There's a bevy of things. Of course, All Might 2 could be a cool deck just based off seeing more DLC characters. Ochako 2 is super cool, but we are at a point now where we've seen a lot of Ochako 2 in the past you know, given week or so we'll see. It's also on your opponent's turn attack just to prevent them from comboing out. Yeah, it's super good, right? Like, at any point in time, your opponent can play an attack, like, you know, like a Staff Strike deck, and it's like, nope, that enhances never happened in Flash. So it's super, super solid. It's great defensively, it's great offensively, it's a great control tool. So you definitely get rewarded there. Any Froppy 2? I don't know if there's any Froppy 2s out here. We are still waiting out on a couple of matches for players to wrap up. So I'll see if we can find a Froppy 2. There might be an All Might 2. Denki. I would love to see some more Denki gameplay. I am biased saying, like, I would watch some Shoto, but we've seen Shoto a decent amount in the last couple of weeks, so, you know, maybe I pull back a little tiny bit on that one. But yeah, if there's any matchups that you guys are looking forward to or excited to see, then we can definitely go ahead and jump on that. You know, we saw Kamui Woods, we saw Nomu, we saw True Form. The funny thing about True Form though is that, like, if you're playing True Form, you can't really substitute to any of the other All Mights because they don't combo at all with having that many character cards. How many Krishnas? I'm not too sure, actually. I don't get the number of characters before the tournament starts, so we'd have to see. Any Aoyamas? If we could find an Aoyama, that'd be actually super solid. We did see a good number of them in the past week, so it could be possible that we end up finding them. So it looks like the Discord now is having their conversations, chit-chatting about the card. The hands aren't proportionate to where the body is. I mean, yeah, that's not true. That's not necessarily true. Could be just bent in a weird position. You never know. Alright, looks like we're waiting for one more table to play out now. So I could be wrong, but I think the OT and OT time rule is that it's second player gets the last turn, but I can't remember if it's unlimited time. So I have to check. I know in and other things I've played, the OT time is about 10 minutes, so you can't go like beyond that. But let's see. When we're talking about characters, Aoyama definitely is really cool. If we could see Midnight, I think we caught, or not Midnight, but if we could catch Mount Lady, I thought that was super solid. I think we caught gameplay of her one time in the past week or two. So more Mount Lady gameplay I think would be super, super cool. I think the deck plays in a very interesting way on that front. Mina, we caught a Mina in our meta breakdown for the last couple of weeks. So if we could actually find one, that would be also a super solid deck. Shigaraki, I actually like watching Shigaraki gameplay just because it forces your deck to have to play out in such a different manner. That could also be a very cool one. I'd even argue Tokiyami. You know what? We saw Tokiyami a ton in the first week of these webcam tournaments, but we have not actually appropriately seen them since. So I actually wouldn't mind seeing a Tokiyami matchup. Not anything about it. They did just reveal a blank card, but if you squint just enough, you might be able to catch something. You just gotta ask nicely. If you ask nicely, she might reveal herself to you a little tiny bit. Sorry guys, I'm just gonna chat. Hey, yeah, there we go. Someone in the Discord just drew what the body would look like. It seems fine. Revealing yourself. Okay. I mean, you know what? The fact that your mind went there says more about you than it does about me. Alright, I'm gonna just go scope out, see what's happening in this table. Oh no, it looks like they wrapped up. So it looks like we're actually just starting the round. Soon? Now? Maybe? Who knows? Round pairings are getting worked on. Yeah, I figured as much. So we'll just let you guys figure that out, and we should be able to jump into our table soon. I mean, it does seem like people are jumping into tables, maybe so. You can see the smoke from Jellyfish's guy's head. Oof. Well, prayers go out to Jellyfish guy as he tries to figure it out. Pairings are up. Awesome. So we'll go ahead and let players have a second, get them to jump in, and then we'll go ahead and jump into their table. Alright, so it looks like pairings are up. I've been told to go to table 3, and it's because I've been told to follow Humongous because apparently they're playing All Might 2. So let's go catch that, why not? Let's watch some gameplay. So we got All Might versus Jiro. That's nice. We actually haven't caught some Jiro in a hot minute too. You know, in general, we haven't caught, like, we've done a really good job of, like, well, good job. You know, it just kind of works out that way sometimes. But we've done a pretty decent gig at just mitigating seeing the those matchups, or the pillar matchups, I would say. So here we do have Humongous. This time around, playing against Crown Axe. So we'll go ahead and pull up All Might 2 for you guys. And All Might 2 do be starting with 29 health. So All Might 2 here having an enhance, discard the top 4 cards of your deck, and then your attack is plus 2 damage. If it's blocked, your next attack takes 2, gets an additional 2, which is nice. It means there's some carryover and you don't need to multiple enhance to be able to get that attack buff, which is kind of nice. And there are, right, like you could run your deck in a fashion that allows you to get benefit from being able to mill out those cards also. Otherwise, you can discard a momentum to draw a card, and if it's not blocked, you get an additional card, which is pretty good. Definitely, All Might 2 definitely lends himself to being able to consistently cycle into a bunch of gas, so that when you do go in, you're able to dig as much as you can to see as much orange as possible. All right, coordinate effort. Never not have it. Never not have it. All right, so we're at a build 3. Build 4 does not look like we'll build 4, so just a cool build 3 for our All Might player here, and we'll pass over to Jiro. All right, we're going to check a 3, check a 3. And it is relevant to say check a 3 in this deck because we do run 2 checks. So, well, assuming, you know, you run Soundwaves, which I don't see why you wouldn't. Considering the build 4 here, I mean, All Might is a deck that can definitely push, so you do need to be careful. All right, so we're going to check a 5, and we check our 5. So build 5 and coast, so very comfortable position. I always go for it, generally. I think, especially coasting at like 27 life total, like you're not a 20 life character, like you can definitely afford to try to go for it, in my opinion. Alright, so we will start the aggression here on the All Might side with a setup strike. And we're going to mill 4 and bump up its attack. So, almost all gray. And then enhance, the next attack will get +3 speed, so you can change something that's pretty difficult to block. So currently swinging over for 3 high at 7. And we will attempt to block and successfully block. 1 card in hand for Jiro. And coordinate effort will do coordinate effort things and we'll kick it back down. The thing with the decks that run coordinate effort that have like such high damage is also the fact that, oh, okay, looks like we are going to have to commit 2 to get that down, is the fact that you can put your opponent in a really tough position where the decision to block is really tough. Because generally, you know, with coordinate effort, you want to try and block as low as possible, just to mitigate them not getting free builds and basically just, you know, clear up their card pool. But at the same time, you kind of don't want to take like 10 damage to the face. So it's again like one of those things where you can be put in such a position where it's you're punished if you do, you're punished if you don't. So once again, Mighty Punch, you mill another 4, and then you get to draw 2 cards if it's not blocked, which could be very much possible here. And then Deadlock, you get to just mill your opponent for 10. Alright, we'll attempt to block, and it is successfully blocked. Well, it's about to be successfully blocked. Yeah, there we go. So Jiro doing a good job here of just mitigating what the opponent's up to. So not getting draw 2. But a lot of mills. So see if there's a payoff in the deck. So going right into Texas, Detroit, Texas. So we'll get the combo, we'll get the additional damage. I doubt he pitches though, right? Like even if this attack goes in, you're at 3 cards in hand. I don't know if you go beyond that at this point. Especially since you kind of have defenses down. And Jiro can do a good chunk of damage. Not infinite damage, mind you, but Jiro can definitely crack you back and make you feel hurt for trying to stave away your defenses, so. Alright, we're going to mill 4 to bump up the damage. Now we're at a beefy 9. Pretty solid. So 4 high for 9 damage. And looks like we're just going to take 9. Going down to 18. And now we're just going to build, coast, and probably just stay there, I would imagine. Yeah, so 2 cards in hand to defend. Jiro will review the additional 1. And we're seeing like, oh, okay, so it does look like we're running Staff Strike. So yeah, so this deck can definitely chain a lot, for sure, for sure. So with the right sequencing, you can definitely get there. So we'll just have to see if there's, I mean, we do see quite a bit of gray though in hand too, which isn't terrible, right? I don't know if you're gonna go all in right away, but this do be looking Staff Strikey, so. Yeah, so right into the Unwavering Slash. It is a charge, it is a weapon, so we're going to see those buffs. We're going to get the asset, and then with the asset, we're also going to be able to restand one of our foundations. and then draw a card. So makes up for the discard as well. And then we'll go with quick create to get that on board. Buff up the damage as well. And now we'll have a weapon attack as well as a foundation. So, ooh, alright, evildoers here. So we are going to get the block. Yep, and here's the staff strike. Now it's, you know, fully committed out. Now I think, you know, at this point, are all my players just saying, I don't think you can kill me. So let's see you try. And we didn't see a whole lot of orange from Crown Axe here, so could be the case. Yeah, looks like we're just gonna let that go. Alright, we're going to kick it off with a throw, checking a throw, so we are going to have to commit here to be able to play. Gonna mill 4, bump up the damage of our attack. And this kind of ability is incredibly good on throws, right? Oof, a lot of orange there. So this should definitely help the checks. Right. So 5 cards in hand here for All Might. Pretty big defensive hand here. We're going to Jiro. So 2 foundations coming up. So All Might isn't drawing into orange anytime soon. At this point, I think it's probably just the sequencing to decide what Jiro's probably going to want to draw next turn. Yep, so we're just going to block. We're going to check it. We know we're going to pass it. And that's a half block, so we'll go down to 14. The question here is just, you know, how much you push. I mean, you have a clear card pool. Coordinate effort does what coordinate effort does, so you probably just keep on going in, and it does look like we're going to continue our aggression with a Missouri Smash. Still a lot of defensive gas here for Jiro, so... And we know we're going to check a foundation. Alright, we're enhancing, buffing up the speed. So now we're swinging in for 5 high for 7. Which would take Jiro down to 7. Which would be pretty dangerous, right? We are running a throw, so... And the deck does have the capability to bump up that damage to a point where from 7 that throw could be lethal. So Jiro put in a tight spot if this doesn't get blocked. Especially now that we're swinging for 9. So to bring him down to 5, and then 5 is easy cake. Get rid of momentum to draw a card. And we block. Alright, so an attack here on top, which is very tough. Alright, so we got a setup strike coming in through. So once again here, All Might basically saying, I can push in all the aggro and I don't think you're gonna get there. Which is fair, right? Especially if you can get them in a position where like one throw is basically lethal. So you definitely want to keep on pushing that advantage to get them in an uncomfortable position. Alright, just more mills, more buffs. The beefy 9 damage setup strike. And we are going to check an attack next. So we actually just have information on whether we failed this or not. So the block here, because I don't think you're passing a block. Especially if you're checking a 3. But it is basically an additional review step. Oh, okay. Maybe I misremembered. Yeah, it's still a failed check here, so we're gonna go down to 5. And now we're throwaway. Right, there's the Texas, never mind. That's something else. Yeah, so we're just gonna yeah, so that's gonna fail check and then we're gonna pass. Alright, so there is an opportunity for Jiro here. We do have one orange in hand. So let's see how much we drew and if we're able to establish a combo. So we're going to start with an unwavering. We're going to get our buffs from the Jiro response. And then we're going to pitch a creation to play a creation. Pretty good, pretty good. And here we're just going to utilize our creations. Or not yet, I guess. So go ahead and Jiro realign. Alright, so 2 grays for the All Might here. Which is fine. I don't think order matters that much at this point. And then for yourself, if you can line up a draw, then you try and put... Okay, so it looks like orange second, so we'll see if we can line up a draw to be able to mitigate that or mill it away. Yep, quick create, get that down, set up our staff strike. So currently positioned at a, what is it, 4 high. And we will attempt to block. And we know we're checking gray, so. But now we're almost committed up. We have All Might sitting there pretty. But we do have another gray coming. But nevertheless, we do finally have the staff strike making its appearance. And we will check here and get our value out of it. So now combo enhance. The next 2 weapon cards are going to be progression checklist, which should help. And you do get to draw an additional card. So here we can draw, get rid of the attack that's on top of our deck, chain another attack, which in its own right is very important. Alright, quick creation here is going to give it the attack buff. And then we're going to be able to draw 2 cards, which is sweet. Yeah, so this is where Staff Strike definitely thrives. Once your opponent has nothing much to do, you're in a very strong driver's seat position. We know they have another attack in hand. So now it's just like, how big can you get these, right? How tough? Right? Already we're swinging for 7 mid, which is, I think, impossible to block at this moment. And we're swinging in for a hefty 8 damage. So if we get cheap on chaining big attacks like this, Jiro can definitely bring it back. So All Might going down to 221 while we follow up with a capture net. And then we get to build one of our foundations down, which would help if we want to continue with more staff strike stuff. This is a beefy. Now, I didn't notice the numbers on that though. That's what, 9 damage, 7 speed. I mean, 7 speed is where you want to be. That's basically where you're effectively guaranteeing it's going to get through almost, unless he checks a 6. So, and blocks with a 0 modifier, mind you, which I don't think is the case. So. So we could just send it like this. We will attempt to block. I mean, you know, we're gonna whiff, but here's just a free review. So we are going to take 9, right? Going down to 12, and we do have another one. So let's see how big we can make it. Well, we can make it that big. And we can set that down, so that's going to help with any further checks. You can also additionally get some draws here. But just barely missing the lethal threshold, right? Like, we're currently sitting at 9, so you're 3 short at the moment. So is there anything that can be done here? Well, we're going to send it like that. It's going to be 3. So incredibly close, but I don't... Like, I think you just had to use your draws, right? Just try and hope to draw into something else. I think at this point... Yeah, this is going to be tough because we do know that they run throws, so... So All Might here could very much just... You're at 5 now. You're in a range where I could just buff it up, buff up my throw, and that's GG's. And they did get the extra review step from basically just wasting their block. So they do get to draw into an additional card, but it does look like they might have to cycle. No, it does not. But we haven't seen that many throws, right? So it's almost guaranteed that they're... Oh, they might have been milled also. So there's no guarantee that a throw might be up here. No, we're starting off with a setup strike. We are going to cycle in, or, well, I guess kind of consider what's in there. Maybe decide whether he wants to draw the card before he actually mills out. Could be a consideration here. And we will draw. I do think you actually bump out the momentum to get the speed here. 6 speed is decently relevant. Alright, so your opponent's gonna see gray. The thing is here, it doesn't really matter, right? Because at any point in time, you can just say, okay, we're just going to mill out and then cycle our deck. Yep, so we're going to kick the momentum, get the additional speed. All right, so let's see how the checks are going to be for our player now that he's cycled through his deck. I mean, he's gonna have to get an additional 2 mils, I believe, after the 10, obviously. 6, 9, 10. 3 orange, 4, 5, 6 orange. So a decent chunk. One of them was a throw, so that's one less in the deck to worry about. And we will have the additional 2 mils. The other throw, oof. So milling out 2 of the throws unavailable here. So, you know, not guaranteed. I mean, nevertheless here, like regular attacks can definitely get there. You are only at 3, so you need to full block everything that comes your way. Or you're at 5, so you need to full block everything that comes your way. Or 6, I guess. But nevertheless. Yeah, we'll try to block. We will hit it because we knew that we had a foundation coming. Coordinate effort's gonna kick it down. 3 more blocks. But all of them need to I mean, they don't all need to be full blocks, but considering how big these attacks are getting, they basically all need to be full blocks. Alright, Detroit Smash here, the big beefy 6/6. No momentum to discard. But you can draw 3 cards, which is definitely what you want to do in this position. Because you're pretty much like both players are in a position where they need to. This is the deciding turn. Yeah, so we will lower our hand size by 1, draw 3 cards. Then we'll mill 4. Bump up it to damage. So now sitting at 10 damage. So half block still gets there. My opponent drew 3, All Might drew 3 cards, so All Might could very much be in a position to still be able to dish out damage. Capture evildoers, that would definitely help here for sure. So we will attempt to block. We know that we're getting gray, but we need to commit out for it. And now we're just kind of banking that our opponent doesn't have anything. Yep, half block, go down to 1, and did our opponent find more orange? Is he going to be able to play more orange? I mean, probably. Yep, so we got the check. And that should be game. Yep, so we're just going to scoop it up here. Game 1 going to All Might 2. Being able to press Jiro to a point of discomfort. Yeah, and Jiro initially going for their first Staff Strike combo, but kind of running out of gas at the later half with some unfortunate checks. So here's to hoping for a tighter line going into game 2 for our players, but now they can proceed to sides as they prep up for game 2. Meanwhile, I'm going to double check life totals so I can reset accordingly. Let's see. We're talking All Might 2. We're looking at 29. I mean, they could sub out characters, right? So, but nevertheless, we'll set up with the life totals of the presumed characters, and then if they swap out, they swap out. So be it. We'll fix it accordingly. Resetting life total to 29. All right, cool. So it does look like we're just going to stick with the ones that brought us, and gonna kick this game off. I would presume Jiro going first. And, you know, again, Jiro can put herself in a position to do extremely powerful explosive turns, right? We saw Jiro be able to swing for over like 10 damage, attack after attack after attack, so it can definitely get there. Good luck dice roll, I guess. Did he need one more? I don't know. You guys are gonna have to verify the VODs. First off, I can't interrupt the games. I am not judge staff while we're commentating. But it's possible. It could be. You guys are gonna have to verify that through the VODs. All right, so Jiro's gonna kick us off. Another good luck, another good luck dice roll. Yeah, so we're just gonna proceed to our turn while our opponent wraps up their shuffle. For what's worth, we have not seen specialized sound, we haven't seen sound waves yet, so could very much be that the deck doesn't have it. But build 5 is incredibly solid for this deck, especially since the entire staff strike combo establishes more cards into your foundation. So it's a very good setup here for Jiro on turn 1, and let's see if we can find a match here for All Might 2. So we're gonna go into. Need to check a 3, shouldn't be a problem. I mean, the deck does run 2 checks, so there is a relevancy there. Gonna need to check a 4 here, and we will pass it with our character and then pass. So, could be a very gross turn here. A lot of foundation to work with, a lot of staff strike shenanigans could be happening here, drawing a ton of cards as well. Nope, looks like we're going to keep on playing it slow. Or are we going to set up for some kind of combo shenanigans here? Yeah, alright, so there's the staff strike. And yeah, we're just going to keep on playing it slow. And that'll be a pass. Plus Ultra gets reviewed away, and now we're going into All Might's T2. King us off with a throw. Pretty decent. This will get chunky. Can definitely be buffed up enough that you get a draw no matter what, if it gets whether it gets blocked or not. Start by milling 4. Our Jiro player here playing very open-handedly. This is the beauty of webcam games. Top of the deck's an attack. We're going to go ahead and draw that. So Detroit Smash, I believe, in hand. And we will block half. So go down to 24. We know that we have a staff strike coming up. Probably want to draw that. So it's a tough call. You're kind of like incentivized to either find a way to be able to draw that from the top of your deck, or which they do exist currently in Foundation, or just get rid of it. I think you are incentivized to draw it though. Oh no, this is round 2. I forgot to update the rounds. My bad, guys. Yeah, Missouri here is going to do its thing. It's going to buff up. The thing when Missouri Smash I find funny about the art is I always feel like you can see he's winding up a punch, right? So it's obviously a punch, especially since it's a smash attack, but like it feels like, just because of how big the hand is, like it's almost like a slap. Right, we'll block. We know there's Foundation there, and we'll go ahead and pay for the difference. Pretty good being able to position to make sure that you don't review away the staff strike you want. There is another staff strike in hand, all orange currently in the opponent's hand. So they're in Jiro's hand. Unwavering into the staff strike is going to be a good combo. Ooh, just keep on the aggro, going to the setup strike here. We're gonna buff up or debuff our boy. Debuff, that's the word I was listening for. I've been using the word nerf for a little bit now, because I couldn't remember what the word debuff was, but obviously if you got buff, you got a debuff. Yeah, All Might was guaranteed. That I do think in game 1, the follow-up orange would have been sufficient to get there regardless. No, looks like we're going to pitch a staff strike to draw into a staff strike. I mean, I guess. I mean, your intent's not really to block here, right? I think you just take this. So I mean, I haven't played a staff strike deck yet, so maybe it's just me, but now you're actually blocking with the staff strike and not, oof, well, now you're taking to a wavering. That's tough. So, oh no, that's a capture net, I bet. So you're blocking with the capture net. Yep, and now we're just gonna keep on going, actually. Just keep on pressing. We're gonna go with a jab. So the aggression does not stop. And All Might checking very nicely here. Back-to-back solid checks. So that is an XR hardened jab, so very pretty. That's a very pretty card. Man, if I had the money, I would XR out the heck out of my Shoto deck. Sheesh. Well, I don't know if I would bother with XR Frigid Heatwaves, but... At one point, they were cheaper than normals. Yeah, I that happens sometimes. Funny enough, I've caught some good deals on some cards where the regular version spiked, but no, because someone bought them out, but no one bothered to buy out the regular ones. So I just bought or the buy out the foil or high rarity ones. So I bought the high rarity ones for cheaper than the regular ones. That's always fun when that happens. Alright, Jab getting beefy. Getting speedy actually, right? This is all on speed, I think. And it looks like we're just gonna take it. So going down to 19. Well, not just from that, but back to back, you know? Still checking incredibly well. So now All Might's coasting still. Still has 3, has a sizable hand because everything replaces itself. So 2 in momentum, 2 blocked. And now the owner's on Jiro, and I think, I don't know if seeing a lot of gray from the looks of it. Which is not terrible, right? Like, if you have Staff Strike, you can kind of make it work. Yeah. I don't know, I do feel like we were in a position where we probably should have just not bothered blocking at all. I think, yeah, we would have been at a low life total, but I think you would have seen the orange you needed, I think. Oh, we do have a Staff Strike there anyways, so... Yeah, we're gonna go for the Staff Strike here. Just for my sake. Just gonna take a peep to see if that is the weapon foundation. That is the weapon foundation. Alright, cool. So we'll be able to combo. We'll be able to get the couple of draws, see if we can draw some orange to get the benefit that the next 2 weapons won't add to progressive. Does not look to be the case at the moment. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, Jiro's deck just not really behaving. Unfortunately. Not really able to establish any momentum against All Might here. And All Might's checks just line up really, really solidly. So he's unwavering. Ignores progressive. And they get big. Jiro does make them big. So we're sitting at an 8-8 here. So this will... From here on out, attacks get through. It's just being able to draw it into attacks, right? Which at the moment is just not the case for Jiro. All right, so we're gonna go pitch and get a draw. Still more gray from the look of it. Yeah, I don't think today is the day for Jiro. But we will go and take a chunky 8. Can't complain about that. Go down to 21. And we'll just pass. So hopefully Jiro has the defenses necessary to be able to get there. Standing 4 foundations, which is not bad. Start with a Detroit. It's a chunky one. I guess Jiro's one saving grace is that like a bad check from All Might could basically end the turn. So at least there's that. But All Might has been checking extremely well all game. This attack could get beefy, could get fast though. Does have the ability to pitch a momentum to be able to, well, add more momentum. And make this as big and as fast as he wants it to be. And is able to draw, which I believe is the usage here. Yep. We're gonna evildoers on top. You know, things you're so I was just sitting there waiting menacingly. Yeah, so there's all the momentum in the world. Oh boy. And then we're gonna mill for the extra damage here. What are we gonna do? EX here? Okay, get rid of a momentum to draw. We're gonna do reveal, staff strike. So I presume staff strike will stick at the bottom. We do have an attack in evildoers, so we'll probably set up the attack on top, yeah, because that's really what is needed here is one bad check to force. Although you could just check a foundation, right? Like you could just play a foundation here to get rid of it and then have your good check afterwards, but so there are ways to get around this bad check, and then you know you have a good check coming in. So all right, so losing 2 momentum. What are we gonna do? Make it faster, make it stronger. Looks like we're going to make it faster. So now we're looking at 10 speed, 8 damage. And of course that doesn't prevent us from being able to use powerful to give it another boost. And then we'd be looking at, all right, no, looks like we're just gonna take this, go down to 11. Just fair, it's a pretty fast attack. You know you have a bad check up next, so then what do, right? I think you just play a foundation just to get rid of it and then try and go for another attack from there. Oh, did he draw the attack? All right, never mind. All right, Detroit into Texas. Still not lethal, but still very dangerous. Next one will do 4 as well. So if that doesn't telegraph, I don't know what doesn't. Alright, so now we're fast. 6 high for 7 damage. Yeah, pitching an orange is definitely a telegraph. You think he's got another one? Alright, all gray as the mills. We're going to bump up with that damage. Still below lethal. We're at 9, but a throw, you can't really take this, right? Because it means a throw kind of auto loses you the game. So you are deeply incentivized to block this. Or it's a bluff. I don't know if that's the kind of bluff you want to make. Yeah, so we will attempt to block. We are going to check gray. So we are going to defend ourselves, which is pretty important here. Because it means you might be in a position to tank the next attack and not die. Not likely, but especially if you're pitching gray orange, but there's a chance. So we're going to go to the jab, and we're going to... Oof. It does not stop opponent consistently checking pretty decently well. Actually, never mind. You're so obvious checks for just 3, eh? From the looks of it. No, it checks for 4. That's not bad. Yeah, so the You're So Obvious is still there. Is still represent. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The Jiro board state's kind of confusing as to what's on stage and what's in the card pool, but You're So Obvious is still there. But it's still, you know, we'll see. Especially seeing as Hardened Jab is just 3 speed, is not the easiest check to pass. Is vertigo inducing? I could see that. Some depending on the angle, it could actually be better or worse. So next time around, we can definitely fix it because I can swap in between top and bottom. Basically, the more vertical it is, the easier it is to have it on the bottom versus the top. So like this angle from the top isn't the worst. Like if you just rotate it. All right, so push the block. No, building or putting the You're So Obvious into the card pool. Pretty gross. We are looking at 4 damage here. It's not terrible. Let's tank the 4. Alright, here's a Texas. So barrage of attacks non-stop. All Might drawing all the cards. And that's a scoop. Yeah, so that is very unfortunate for a Jiro player here. All Might just drawing incredibly well, checking incredibly well the entirety of the game, and Jiro's deck just not providing gas when needed. It was a very, very tough watch. Very well done here for Hugh, crashing down against the Jiro. So very, very, very tough matchup on both sides, I think. So sometimes your deck just doesn't want to behave, right? And it's not all do or nothing, right? There are still definitely outs and potentials. Like I think in that game one, there was a potential where the Jiro player could have kept more orange instead of blocking. Now I know you're kind of risking it, but you're also just kind of weighing, right? Like you're probably gonna have the best crackback potential at that point in time to keep those oranges instead of trying to block and failing those checks anyways. So you'd be in a position to just kind of do better on that front, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. It's not my deck either, so. Glad to see DLC All Might getting some love. Had a local player come with a fire build, and he looks really cool. He is cool. I think in general the DLC has huge impact, right? Oshako we're seeing everywhere. Asui, I know that there's people messing around with her card pool in terms of the kit that she got. All Might 2 is definitely a solid All Might deck. Very consistent, being able to just pump up everything, every damage that you can. So in general, 100%, I think the DLC has been a great impact to the meta, and we have been seeing those shifts. And the big interest is going to be, next week when we get the meta breakdown and we're able to look like, okay, so the DLCs have been out for a couple of weeks. Now that people have gotten comfortable with the characters, have people positioned themselves back to what they knew before, or are they sticking to the new stuff? And I think that evolution is going to be a lot of fun to watch as we go on to the second week for sure. It does look like players have 5 more minutes in the round, guys. So we'll go ahead and take our break here, let the players wrap up their round, and then we'll be right back with round 3. So, of course, stick around, have a good time, get yourself some drinks, get yourself a snack, and we'll be right back.